Alright guys, I know it's been a while. I've been kind of sick and just haven't had the chance to sit and make a video for you guys, but still haven't really had the chance because the weather's just been but so you guys will have to bear with it. I'll go to a spot and walk around the car and kind of just give you guys a view. But today we're going to talk about, should you get a manual 370Z? I've had this car for almost a year. I had 10 months, so I think I can do a decent review on it, comparing it to the auto, as someone that had an auto 370Z that wanted a manual but was just scared to get the manual on this because of the problems that they have. So hopefully I'm not jinxing myself, but this will kind of be like a buyer's guide, I guess, for you guys that want to get either an automatic Z or 370. I'll list the pros and cons of both cars, and I guess just kind of give you guys just a little I guess I'll just give you guys some tips and what to look out for and just kind of help you guys out. So I've been fortunate enough to have both. So yeah, I'm gonna go to a spot and I guess walk around the car, kind of film it a little bit, and yeah, we'll get straight to it. All right, hopefully you guys can hear me well enough. So I'm gonna make this short and sweet, like I always try to do. So this is a 2013 Nissan 370Z. Has the sport package, as you can tell by, has the sport brakes. So has the sport brakes on it, has limited slip. For you guys that are wanting to get a manual 370Z, the main issue that you guys need to worry about is the OEM clutch slave cylinder. It is plastic. What'll happen is if it gets too hot, it'll just kind of just deteriorate, and when you go to push the clutch in, it'll just stay on the floor. So then you're kind of stranded unless you know how to drive manual, or unless you know how to drive it without the clutch, which is possible, but it's not exactly the best for it. But that's the main thing. That's the one reason why my first Z was not a manual, because I was scared, and I still need to upgrade it. I've been lucky. The only thing that you can really do is just don't ride the clutch and change the clutch fluid, which I did that. And I even changed the transmission fluid on this thing. So that's all you can do. But it's you can get a part from Z1, which I do plan on getting to upgrade the slave cylinder. The second thing that people say is, oh, I don't want to daily drive a manual. Okay, well, I drive this thing literally every day. I've probably put, let's see, I got this car 58,000 miles on it in April, and it's January and it has 81,000 miles on it. Basically just highway miles. So even when it's in traffic, it's really not that bad. The way I kind of deal with it in traffic is I'll just leave instead of just being right up on someone's bumper, I'll just leave I'll leave a lot of room, honestly, so I don't have to keep changing gears and constantly putting extra wear on the clutch. So that's a little tip I would say to do if you want to preserve the life of it. But honestly, OEM, clutch and everything, it's a great daily driver. I've had no issues with it. And for you guys that have never driven manual or are trying to learn, this is my first manual car. So this is why I say get the sport package. Get the sport package so you have the rev match. So you can turn it on or off, but it's a really great tool to use if you're a beginner like me. If this is your first manual Z or manual car, it's a great thing to have. The base models don't have it, and I found out even the base models, when you change the gears, it doesn't even say what gear you're in on the dash, but on the sport package it'll tell you what gear you're in and everything. So it's just a really great thing to know what gear you're in, and also have assistance. It'll assist you on the upshifts and it'll rev match on the downshifts. So I only turn it on if I'm going to drop a gear and take off, because I'm not the best at rev matching and the car is going to do it perfect every time. So I'll just let the car do it. But when I'm just normal driving, I'll just turn it off and that's it. I'll just drive it like that. Because it also, another issue that the manual Zs have is the synchro revs like to go out. So an easy way to prevent that is change the fluid in the trans, which I did that. But also just don't use rev match too much. Even though it's there, just don't use it that much, Because what happens is when you have rev match on and you put it in neutral, the car still revs up like really high because it thinks you're trying to go in a gear, it doesn't know what gear you're going to. So I just turn it off just to kind of preserve the life. I only use it when I'm gonna like do a pull or something. So those are like the main cons of the manual, is the OEM slave cylinder, which is garbage, and then the synchro rev match, which tends to go out pretty easily. So, and the best way you can prevent that is change your clutch fluid, change your transmission fluid, and then just don't use the rev match that much. Even though you kind of paid extra for that, just kind of, I don't know, just don't use it too much, I guess, if that makes sense. But also with the sport package, you get the bigger brakes and you get a limited slip, which is nice. So, but for daily driving, it's really not that bad at all. I've loved it. It's very fun, and like I even like work out, and like when I do my legs, like the OEM clutch isn't that heavy, so like you can still like be in traffic and still keep like, you know, shifting. Like it's really not that bad. My tip is just leave a bunch of space so you don't have to like constantly change gears. So my opinion for you guys, if you want a fun Z, you have to go manual. The autos are great. If you plan on building the car or boosting it, get a manual, because the automatics, it is a very strong transmission, but it will need an upgraded flex plate and a transmission cooler. So if you plan on boosting it, so with the manual Z, you just need a clutch, and that's it. Like that's all you need, is basically just a clutch for the transmission, and that's fine. Manual Zs can take about, I think 500 wheel torque is the limit on the manual transmission. The limit on the auto is like around 400 wheel, like 450 is the max torque, but you don't really want to go past like 400 wheel torque on the autos. So the manual is definitely a lot stronger. So you could just buy a manual Z, and then you already have the bigger brakes and do the sport package, and then literally just put a stage 3 clutch on it and then boost it, and you're done. Like that's it. So, and then if you want to build the motor, but it depends on your power. But yeah, that's the cons, I would say. But other than that, I would still really recommend get a manual Z. It's been a lot of fun. Having an auto is nice when you're in traffic, but the manual is just like, it's just too fun. Like it's just really a great car, and this transmission's been really solid so far. So I would just recommend getting the manual for you guys that are looking to get the full fun out of a Z. Get a manual. But if you're too nervous, then yeah, the auto is a great platform. I wouldn't say this is a great car to learn manual in, because the clutch is kind of tricky, but I mean, it was my first car that's manual, and if it's gonna be your first car manual, just get the sport package so you have the rev match, so it'll assist you whenever you try to take off or upshift or downshift. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video. I hope this kind of makes you decide which one you want to do and feel a little bit better. I've had both, and I definitely prefer the manual. They're both great, but for me, obviously the manual is the way to go. The fun factor of it, and it's honestly not that bad. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll try to keep posting more.